What's up, everybody? My name is Brandon. This is Potty Sports, your spot for uncensored and unfiltered sports opinions. Today I'm coming with my MLB predictions for the 2021 season. I've decided to split this into two separate videos, one being the National League, the other being the American League. Today I'll be covering the National League, and the American League will be covered on Friday's video. Before I start, like button, subscribe button, mash them for me. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. 30 subscribers, kind of blown me away. I love it. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, buttons down below. So for each team, I've made jot notes for each team, basically general expectations. I've done over and under wins expectation, and I've listed 2 players to watch from each team. I've ranked the teams from 1 to 5 based on their division, 1 being the division winner and 5 being the bottom feeder or the shitter of the division. I'm going to dive right into this. The National League East, I have the New York Mets winning this division. They're over and under 100 wins. I have them even. They can be a 100-win team. They have the potential to do so. On paper, I wouldn't understand how anyone has a team over them in the division. They've spent big bucks on Jacob deGrom and Francisco Lindor. It is time to see their magic. And they need to not blow their load right away, meaning they need to get hot in late July and all through August and carry the momentum into the playoffs. They can't get hot in April and May and then sizzle the rest of the season. It won't be successful. The players to watch for them are Jacob deGrom and Francisco Lindor. Second in the National League East, I have the Atlanta Braves. Over and under 100 wins, I have them under 100 wins. They need to be hopeful that Charlie Morton is an addition to the rotation, not a subtraction, meaning he was a solid pitcher in Tampa Bay. They don't need him to shoot above and try and be an absolute stud for the ball club. Just pitch your game. Just be a solid pitcher, and that will add to a contribution for the team. Anything other than that, you're just going to give up a lot of home runs, and you're just going to end up being a liability for the rotation. They must beat big teams in their division to strike fear in them, meaning they need to win series against the Mets, they need to win series against the Phillies, they need to win series against the Nationals, and they can't lose to the Miami Marlins. I'm not saying you can't lose a bunch of games, but they need to especially win series and get sweeps off the Marlins in order to stack wins against these other teams. The bats and the speed are over pitching and finesse baseball. They need to expect high-scoring games. The players to watch for the Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Charlie Morton. Third in the National League East, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. Over and under 81 wins, I have them over 81 wins. They are probably going to be an 85-win ball club, but I can see them touching 90. Bryce Harper needs people to bat around him. Solo shots don't win ball games, meaning they need to add contact hitters, or the people in their lineup need to get on base in order to use Bryce Harper's power to bat them in. The Phillies need to transition out of Jean Segura and Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen is literally a dust bunny. He's old as fuck. They need to not spend money on these type of players and actually get young studs. They need to spend the money. They need to buy another solid bat and some more firepower in the offseason to take the load off of Zach Wheeler in the rotation. The players to watch for the Philadelphia Phillies are Bryce Harper and Zach Wheeler. The Washington Nationals, I have them 4th in the National League East. Over and under for them, over and under 70 wins, I have them over 70 wins. They still have pieces left over from the championship run a few years back. They have enough to make their mark on the division, but will they be able to execute? I don't see them executing against the Mets and the Braves. They just have a lot more firepower than the Nationals, but they still have key pieces in Juan Soto. It all depends on how they execute. And they need to get hot, and they need to get hot fast. They need to climb to the top of the division right away to have these other teams try and beat them off. They can't just be one of these 3rd or 4th or medium teams in the National League East. Then the Mets are going to come into Washington and be like, oh, well, this team's all right, like, whatever, we're just going to play our game, and it'll be a confidence boost for any team that they play against. The players to watch for the Washington Nationals are Juan Soto and Max Scherzer. That brings us to 5th in the division, the bottom feeder of the division. Hurts me to say, but the Miami Marlins are the 5th ranked team in this division. The over and under for them, over and under 70 wins. I have them over 70 wins. Not by much, but just by a pinch. Maybe 75 wins. I don't see them dipping under 70, but they're not going to be a contending team for this division whatsoever. They just need to keep swimming, developing talent from within, and keeping that talent locked up for years to come. They need to buy their players at big, long-term contracts and keep them, and then add stars on top of it. They're playing in one of the toughest divisions in baseball. They just need to pick away at games. Don't go in there being like, oh, well, we lost the first game. Fuck, this is just out of the way now. No, if you can get a win off of the Mets or the Braves or the Phillies or anybody in the National League in general or anybody in the whole Major League Baseball, get the win. Just pick away at teams. They need to spend big bucks in the offseason to get some stars to complement their young core. And the players to watch for the Miami Marlins, are Starling Marte and Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm has been absolutely hot to start the year. I expect it to sizzle out, but I don't expect it to sizzle out anytime soon. He's a good young player, and they have a very good young team. I expect them to keep climbing in the years to come. So, for the National League Central, I have the Chicago Cubs taking this over and under win expectation, 100 wins. I have them under 100 wins. They are a 90-win plus ball club, but I don't see them touching the 100-win echelon. They are battling with the Cardinals for this division. They need to win key series against the Cardinals. You need to take 2 of 3. You need to take 3 of 4 from the Cardinals to take them off of your back in the division. They are your contenders. They're your arch nemesis for the National League Central division. Will Baez have a bounce-back year? His productivity was stagnant last year. He was here and there. Sometimes he was an absolute star. Sometimes he was an absolute ice cube. You need to get him more balance. I believe that there's a cover curse for the Major League Baseball The Show video game. Javier Baez was on the cover of it last year, and Fernando Tatis Jr. is on the cover of it this year, and we are already seeing how that's working out. He is on the IL with a thrown-out shoulder. They have the bats to replace the arm of Yu Darvish. They just need to spread out the rotation and the bullpen, meaning they need guys to step up in productivity in order to attempt to replace the arm that they lost in Yu Darvish. That was a key piece that they missed. Players to watch for the Chicago Cubs are Javier Baez and Kyle Hendricks. Second in the National League Central, I have the St. Louis Cardinals over and under 100 wins. I have them under 100 wins. They are a 90-win plus ball club as well. They are neck and neck with the Cubs. I am just taking a leap and saying the Chicago Cubs are going to win the division. Bold prediction. How will Nolan Arenado fit into the team? Can he stay healthy enough to claim a playoff spot? It's a long season, and they need Nolan Arenado's success in order to be a successful ball club and potentially take the division away from the Chicago Cubs. Team is mainly pretty young, but the vets will help carry the load. And they can't let losing odd games to shittier teams in their division keep them from contending for the division. Meaning, if you lose an odd game to the Pittsburgh Pirates, or you lose a series to the Brewers or the Reds, don't let it discourage you. Just stick to the game plan, and you will see success. Players to watch for the St. Louis Cardinals are Nolan Arenado and Jack Flaherty. Third in the National League Central, I have the Cincinnati Reds. Over and under 81 wins. I have them over 81 wins. I can see them winning 85. I can see them even touching up to 90. It all depends on if Sonny Gray comes back from his injury in Cy Young form or not. He is a stud. He is their ace. It all depends on how he's going to react to this and recover from his injury coming into the season. It is a long season. You need to use it to your advantage, not your detriment. Spread everything out. Be completely consistent throughout the season, and that's how you're going to see success. You can't get hot now, and you can't get hot when it's too late in August when you've already had a shitty season so far. Just be consistent, pick away at games. I'm not expecting a surprise squeeze into the playoffs this year for the Cincinnati Reds. The players to watch for the Cincinnati Reds are Sonny Gray and Eugenio Suarez. Fourth in the division, I have the Milwaukee Brewers. Over and under 70 wins. I have them over 70 wins. I can see them winning 75. I can see them winning 80. I don't see them winning over 80, though. I don't see them pushing into the 85 plus. Christian Yelich needs to stop looking at Pete Davidson and hit the fucking ball. He had a fucking slow season last year. I'm not even going to stunt on that. He needs to stop with the whole, oh, Pete Davidson's my twin. Oh, look at us. Oh, we're twins. Get back and hit the fucking ball again, Christian Yelich. You get paid way too much money, and you have way too much star potential to be wasting it. Get your fucking head in the zone. Get into the batting cage and hit some fucking dingers. That's what everyone watches Milwaukee Brewers games for. Makes me fucking sick. They have young studs in Freddie Peralta and Devin Williams. Those two players excite me for that rotation and that bullpen. They need to see some productivity from those two guys. They have good star potential and they're young. The players to watch for the Milwaukee Brewers are Christian Yelich and Freddie Peralta. That brings us to fifth in the division, the bottom feeder, the absolute shitter of the division, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Over and under 70 wins, I have them under 70 wins, which means they're basically an absolute fucking dumpster fire for this division. They lost arms in Joe Musgrove and Jameson Taillon in the offseason. Jameson Taillon went to the New York Yankees, and Joe Musgrove went to the San Diego Padres, and he just threw the first no-hitter in San Diego Padres franchise history. Good job, Pittsburgh Pirates. Way to retain talent. They are another team that develops or obtains players just to ship the talent off elsewhere to be used. They had Andrew McCutchen. He's on the Phillies now. They had fucking Garrett Cole. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. They are an absolute dumpster fire. I don't have any expectations for this team this year. Players to watch for them. I picked Ke'Bryan Hayes and Gregory Polanco. Nobody's ever fucking heard of them, and I really don't have any players to watch for this team. Literally, just please don't watch the Pittsburgh Pirates. Go watch a real fucking baseball game. And last but not least for the National League, I have the National League West Division. Don't think it's going to be much of a surprise what I have for this one. I have the Los Angeles Dodgers taking this division. They're over and under 100 wins expectation. I have them over 100 wins. I can see them winning 105. I can see them winning 110, 120, 130, whatever. Their potential is sky high. They are basically the Brooklyn Nets of the MLB. Hey, want to come play for us? Yeah, sure, man. Why not? Let me just put my name on the dotted line. Not really much to say about this team. They are stacked as fuck. It would be a major disappointment if they didn't make the World Series this year. And a shock. They have the best pitching squad I've ever seen in baseball history. Ever. Players to watch for the Los Angeles Dodgers are Mookie Betts and Trevor Bauer. Second in the National League West Division, I have the San Diego Padres. Over and under 100 wins. I have them under 100 wins, just slightly. They are a 90-plus win ball club. Is the cover curse going to affect Fernando Tatis Jr. like it did to Javier Baez last year? Well, he's already on the IL, so it's not looking good so far. They have great off-season additions in Yu Darvish and Blake Snell to their lineup. Musgrove just threw their first no-hitter in franchise history. Can the rotation and the batting lineup complement each other to win ball games? Meaning, they can't have off games from Musgrove or Darvish or Snell, and the offense puts up nine runs, but they lose 10-9. They need to complement each other. They need to keep the runs to a minimum when they're on defense and pitching, and they need to maximize the runs with their firepower that they have in their batting lineup. Players to watch for the San Diego Padres are Fernando Tatis Jr. and Yu Darvish. Third in the National League West Division, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Over and under 81 wins. I have them even at 81 wins. I don't see them going up. I don't see them going down. There's a lot of predictions that are delusional about this team. I see a lot of people have them in second in the division over the Padres, preying on the downfall of the Padres. I don't see it happening, especially with the deals that they've made in the offseason. They gave Tatis a bag. I would be happy if I signed a bag like that. And they added Darvish and Snell. I just don't see the upset here at all. This team is preying on the downfall of them. It won't come at all. They have solid pieces. They just don't spend the capital and the money to be a successful ball club, especially in this division, especially when the Los Angeles Dodgers are going to sweep this division. Sweep. Players to watch for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte and Nick Ahmed. Fourth in the National League West Division, I have the Colorado Rockies. Over and under 70 wins, I have them over 70 wins. They can be an 80-win ball club. They have the potential to do so. They still have Trevor Story and Charlie Blackmon. They still have firepower in the lineup. It's all about execution. losing Nolan Arenado may clear up the money to invest in big names in the offseason. They kind of dodged Nolan Arenado. That was a big bag that he signed in St. Louis. I don't believe he's worth that kind of money. He's still a very solid player, but they can use that money that they avoided paying Nolan Arenado to buy a bunch of solid players or buy a bunch of star players. It is completely up to their discretion. Players to watch for the Colorado Rockies are Ryan McMahon and Jermaine Marquez. Fifth in the National League West, we have the San Francisco Giants. Over and under 70 wins, I have them even at 70 wins. I can see them winning 75, but I don't see them going under as well. Can they add Barry Bonds and Tim Lincecum into the lineup? No? All right. Well, I don't see much success coming from them. They need bats, and they need solid pitching, which they have spurts of, but they don't have a whole solid rotation. They don't have a whole solid bullpen, and they don't have a whole solid lineup, which you need when you're competing in the National League West. They have some nice players, not enough though. They are in the same division as the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm sorry, you're not going to see much success with what you have. The players to watch for the San Francisco Giants are Mike Yastrzemski and Johnny Cueto. Sorry for rambling like a cokehead on a Friday night, but that concludes my National League predictions for the 2021 season. Stay tuned for Friday's video when I cover the American League, what matters, the boys in blue, the New York Yankees. And if you haven't yet, like button, subscribe button, mash them for me. I appreciate everything. Until Friday, adios amigos.